Welcome, everyone, to our live broadcast of the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. We are here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, at the Forks, the historic junction of the Red and Assiniboine Rivers. You can see the new Canadian Museum of Human Rights in the background, and we're just showing part of the course here. It's approximately 13 or 14 degrees Celsius here, a perfect day to watch a cycling race. Some light winds out of the west. We have got a fantastic course and venue here. We have lots of people showing up, ready to cheer on these fans. I'm your host, I'm Steve Scholes, and I am joined in the International Broadcast Center by Winnipeg's own Leah Kirchman. Welcome, Leah, to the show.
Thanks, Steve. I'm very excited to be here.
Now, before we jump into this event, which already has been extremely exciting, we'll give you a quick update on what's happened so far. But before we jump into this event, I'm sure we have a lot of cycling fans, a lot of Canadian cycling fans out there that want to hear a bit about your season. You had a pretty good season, so let's just hear what happened in your season this year, Leah.
Yeah, so it was definitely the best season of my cycling career to date. The highlights were definitely claiming all three of the national championship road titles, and also getting on the podium, third place on the Champs-Élysées at the Tour de France this year. Unfortunately, my season ended with a massive crash of the World Championship, so I broke my collarbone. I wish I was racing today, but I'm still excited to be a part and here announcing, calling the race.
Yeah, we definitely wish you were part of the racing today, but I must say about maybe a day or so after you had your crash, we had about a day of mourning. But then we started talking about getting you here for our live broadcast. So at least we have you here for that. So we're just showing a few camera shots of the course here. I do want to move to our interview that we have with Catherine Pendrell, last year's defending champion, and also some interviews with some of our top riders racing today. So we're just going to go to our interview with Catherine Pendrell. So I'm here with Catherine Pendrell, the defending champion. She'll be racing Saturday in the national championship. So Catherine, welcome here to Winnipeg.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So what do you think of the course? You've had a chance to pre-ride it. What do you think of it?
I think it's really great. It's so diverse out there. We've got grass, we've got cobbles, we've got sand, we've got pavement. It's going to be a very fast course. The wind's going to make some interesting tactics possibly. And the best thing is it's in this downtown environment, right in the Forks, with people out. They're going to be out in the beer garden. They're going to be out having meals. And I think it's going to be lots of fun.
So how are you feeling for tomorrow? Are you feeling in good shape for the race?
I feel pretty good. I haven't done a lot of cross racing this year compared to last year, but the day before the race, you never feel spectacular because you're nervous and your legs feel more tired. But I think it's going to be good tomorrow. It'll be fun.
So now you're doing some special things here, the Fast and Female event. You want to just talk a little bit about the Fast and Female event?
Sure. Fast and Female was started by one of our Canadian Olympians, Chandra Crawford, and it's this amazing event to create this great environment for girls to enjoy sport in, making it social, making it fun, but also showing them how being athletic can be very feminine and very fun, and just how many ways that you can be a female athlete.
Okay, so I understand that you actually lived in Manitoba for a year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Back in 2001, I spent 3.5 months in Manitoba, Swan River, Manitoba, and a little bit in Winnipeg.
Okay, now Manitoba's produced a surprising number of top female cyclists. Clara Hughes, Tanya Dubnikov, world champion, Leah Kirchman. Go back a little way, Sylvia Burka, world champion, world record holder in the 80s. So I got to think that time you spent in Manitoba, that's got to be the main reason you've done so well, right?
You're probably going to have to fight with New Brunswick for that honor, but Manitoba might be able to take like a little 3-month credit.
Well, okay, let's just try this out. Okay, before, you were, I guess, around 20 years of age when you were in Manitoba. Before you were in Manitoba, how many world championships did you have?
Good point. Yeah, none.
And after Manitoba, how many world championships?
I've got 2.
Before you were in Manitoba, how many Olympics had you gone to?
0.
After Manitoba, how many Olympics did you go to?
2.
So I think...
Argument.
Yeah, I think we've proven something here. If you want to be a top female cyclist, you need to spend a few months at least in Manitoba.
So are they going to put in the National Cycling Centre in the Forks?
I think great idea. So
Next year?
yeah, we'll work on that. So
Well, we'll see you next year at the Manitoba Canadian Cycling Centre. Hey, I'm Catherine Penderell from the Luna team and from Kamloops, British Columbia.
Hello, my name is Michael Dick. I'm from the Stands No Tubes team from Victoria, BC. I'm excited to be here in Winnipeg for the Canadian Nationals, being a part of the Fast and Female. It's going to be a fun event and looking forward to the pain.
Hi, so my name is Natasha Elliott. I'm from Gatineau, Quebec, and I arrived for the CycleSmart Elite team. And I guess you could call me the hometown favorite because I lived in Manitoba for a year outside of Winnipeg. Hi, my name is Magali Rochette. I am from Saint-Jérôme in Quebec, and I ride for the Luna Pro team. Super excited for the race tomorrow. The course is great, and I can feel that my cyclocross fever is stronger than ever, so it should be really fun. Merci à tous de regarder la course, and let's get ready to rumble!
So that was our interview with some of our top riders here. You can see Magali Rochette, one of the favorites here today, quite excited. She's got cyclocross fever, and I must say I woke up this morning with a severe case of cyclocross fever myself. So I think we've got an epidemic of cyclocross fever here in Winnipeg right now. So our women's race is going to be starting in just under 5 minutes or so, about 5 minutes to start of our women's race. Just to let you know, in our broadcast, we're not only live around the globe, around the world, but we're also live on site here at the Forks, this incredible venue for a cyclocross race. So our women's race will be up shortly in just under 5 minutes. At approximately 4:30 Central Time, we'll also show our men's elite race. And as well, tomorrow, we'll have the Manitoba International Grand Prix live on TV about a half hour, live on the internet, about a half hour earlier times on Sunday than what we're starting with today. So 2:45 Central Time tomorrow for our live broadcast. We're about 4 minutes to the start here of the women's elite race here at the Forks, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. Now, Leah, let's do a quick little cyclocross fantasy pool. Let's each pick 2 female riders. We'll have our official stats guy here score it at the end of this. But let's see if we can pick 2 female riders each and how they finish up on the podium. Now, Leah, I'll let you go first with your selections.
Okay, Steve. Well, if I get first pick, I'm going to have to go with Catherine Penderell. She's defending champion from last year in Surrey and, 2-time world champion. She's obviously really strong, and that's my first pick.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pick. She's also world mountain bike champion this last year. Just less than 2 months ago, she took the world championship in mountain biking in Norway. So good first pick. I'm going to go, my first pick, I'm going to go with her Luna Pro teammate, the one with severe cyclocross fever, Magali Rochette. She's had some really, really good races so far on the East Coast this year in some of the top cyclocross races in the East Coast of the U.S. So I think I have to go with Magali Rochette as my first pick.
Okay, well, for my second pick, it's going to be Michael Dick. She won back in 2012, so obviously a very accomplished cross racer as well. She had a really strong start to the season, claiming the BC Championships over Sandra Walter, so I think she could have a great race today.
Now, with my second pick, I'm a little bit torn. I think there's 2 other riders here that could do quite well here. I think Natasha Elliott, who we saw earlier in that short interview, also Sandra Walter, who was the Canada Cup mountain bike champion this year. So I'm a little torn between those 2 riders, but I think I'm going to pick Natasha Elliott. She's lived in Winnipeg for a year, so maybe the hometown favorite here. We've also got Anna Shepard here from Winnipeg, but at my second pick, I'm going to go with Natasha Elliott. So you can see, we're just showing a few signs here, a few camera shots of our sandpit area. You can see the fans starting to build up. We've got a big TV screen in there so they can catch all the action of this race. We should see even more fans line up here as this race gets underway. That's also the Half Pints Garden of Beer. We've got Half Pints brewing a special beer just for this event. That is the Dead Ringer beer, and the folks in that Garden of Beer right now are enjoying the Half Pints Dead Ringer beer. We're just under 2 minutes to start, maybe a minute and a half to start. We're now showing the start line. We've got our top women's riders lined up there. It's not a large field, but a very, very high quality field. We can see Magali Rochette in the light blue and the white jersey of the Luna Pro team. We've got Michael Dick. We've got Natasha Elliott there in the light blue Cyclosmart jersey. So we're just over a minute to start here. Just to recap, we've just got a few seconds here. We just saw the completion of an incredibly exciting under-23 race and junior race. So 1 minute to start. In that under-23 men's race, Danick Vandel from Winnipeg, Manitoba took the victory. You can't imagine how loud it got here. And in the junior race, another Manitoban, Oliver Evans, took the victory. So a lot of excitement already here at the Forks. The fans are ready. The riders are ready. We can see our chief race official, Jim Bratrude, has removed the start tape. And we're very soon going to get underway here with our live broadcast. We're live from our International Broadcast Center here at the Forks in Winnipeg. We don't have the entire course covered with cameras. We have approximately 70%, 60% of the course covered. But I think we're going to see some great action here. The riders, you can see the tension on the line. These riders are ready. These riders are fighting for the Canadian Championship. Tomorrow they'll have the Manitoba International Grand Prix, and the riders are off. Ladies and gentlemen, we are underway here at the Forks, and it looks like Magali Rochette, the early leader. Anna Shepard in there, the local rider. Michael Dick, Catherine Pendrell sitting about 4th spot. Sandra Walter up there as well. So these riders are off. We should mention the junior women are racing at the same time, and they have started with these elite women. So we are underway here with the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. I can't tell you how much work and how much love has gone into putting on this event.
I'm getting some information on the start. So we had Magali Rochette take the whole shot, followed by Michael Dick and Anna Shepard from Winnipeg up there as well.
So they're now coming back into our screen. So you can see there in the white and light blue, that is Maggie Rochette, then followed by Michael Dick. And Anna Shepard, the local rider, Sandra Walter, trying to make a move a little bit. They're now onto what we're calling the Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. This is a difficult off-camera climb. We've seen a number of crashes on this part of the course already, but you can see first right now Maggie Rochette, Michael Dick, Sandra Walter, and Catherine Pendrell right behind them. Then it looks like Anna Shepard, the local rider from Manitoba, sitting in about 5th spot right now. Natasha Elliott sitting back in about 8th. So they're going to wind up and down this Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. They've gone up the first one, now they're going up the second part of that Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. Still Magali Rochette from Saint-Jérôme, Quebec, Michael Dick out of BC, Sandra Walter out of BC, and Catherine Pendrell. So now actually just coming right in front of our International Broadcast Center. So this race will be 40 minutes in total. We're expecting 4 laps, perhaps 5 laps for these women. And then coming up for 4:30, we'll have our men's elite championship. What an incredible venue we have here. This is the Forks area. This is the junction of the Red and Assiniboine Rivers. This is where Winnipeg comes to hang out. And now our lead riders are heading towards the barrier section. These are the kick cancer barriers. Rochette, Dick, Walter, over the barriers, no problem. Pendrell, Anna Shepard, Natasha Elliott sitting about 6 or so spots. So those riders starting to separate themselves from the rest of the field. So they are on their first lap here of the women's elite race. So we got a few sections off camera here, but so most of our field now through that kick cancer barrier section. Still Maggie Rochette in the lead, followed by Michael Dick. So they're now heading towards the pit area. Those riders have 2 opportunities to hit the pit on this course. They can get full support from their mechanics. We know there's neutral race support by Shimano. Shimano has been an outstanding partner in putting on this event, and they are helping with neutral race support in that pit area. So these riders get 2 opportunities per lap to get service out of that pit. It's a very, very dry course here. It's not muddy. If it was very muddy, like last year's national championships in Surrey, BC, you'd probably see these riders almost every lap switching bikes, certainly every second lap. That allows them, they got a spare bike in the pit, that allows them to get that bike cleaned, get the mud cleaned off, and so they can ride a clean bike and then come around the next time, get back on a clean bike. But today it's very dry. It shouldn't be an issue. Generally, if they're hitting the pits, that's probably because of a mechanical problem when it's this dry, so we shouldn't see too many times in the pit. I think the forecast tomorrow, there's a chance of a little bit of rain, so if we see a bit of rain, it'll start to get really muddy here. It gets very muddy very quick here. So if we see that, we'll see a lot more of activity in the pit. So we're just showing you a little bit right now.
So I've got some updated info on the group. So we have a group of 4 riders that have about a 4-second gap on the rest of the field. And those 4 riders are Magali Rochette, Michael Dick, Catherine Pendrell, and Ashley Barson out of Ontario.
Oh, so Ashley Barson is in there. So she's having an outstanding start to this race. Yeah, so we've got Leah Kirchman on race radio, so she's going to be providing updates throughout the program here. So Ashley Barson sitting in 4th spot. That's a great start. So just seeing here now, these riders, they've exited. We've got a long riverbank section. So these riders have now come up what we're calling the Prairie Mobile Run-Up. So we've got 6 or 7 riders now coming through that section. It's a very tricky run-up. We'll show later in here. Now we're entering into the Forks, at the actual Forks area. This is the harbor area. We've got Magali Rochette coming into that area right now. You can see in the background, that is the junction of the 2 rivers. They are now heading towards the Shimano double sand pit. So we've got Magali Rochette, Michael Dick in the lead. They've got a little bit of a tricky section here, and now they got to get their speed up as they hit the first part of that Shimano double sand pit. That is Maggie Rochette in blue, Michael Dick in the red and black, Sandra Walter in 3rd, and Catherine Pendrell in 4th right now. They are on their first lap. They're now making that 180-degree turn, and they're going to be heading towards that second sand pit. The fans starting to get really loud here. Let's hear some of that white noise from these fans. Now, Michael Dick, nice work in that sand pit, really showing a lot of experience, and she's gained a few seconds on these riders. So Magali Rochette struggling a bit in that second sand pit. She's now fallen back to 3rd place. So we got Ashley Barton now, it looks like, in 5th spot. Here is Natasha Elliott in 6th spot, so they're exiting that sand pit. So it's clearly this sand pit is going to be an issue in this course. We saw Maggie Rochette leading, and she fell back. So you can see these riders trying to find that right line through the sand pit area in front of all these fans in the harbor area, right at the junction of the Red and Assiniboine rivers. They're now onto this run-up. They are going to head towards the Expo section, and then they're going to head towards the Adina Celebration Circle. So we should have them on camera shortly once they get back into that section, but we're just showing the field come through here now through this Shimano double sand pit. So just to recap, Michael Dick is now your leader, followed by Sandra Walter and then Magali Rochette in 3rd. So we see them coming back into this Odina Celebration Circle area. So it is Michael Dick in 1st. We've got a Luna Pro rider. I believe that's Magali Rochette in 2nd, and then Sandra Walter in 3rd, and I believe that's Catherine Pendrell just a little ways back. So Catherine Pendrell, it looks like struggling a little bit. We'll see if we can get a close-up. I may have got those riders mixed up, so we'll see if we can get a bit of a close-up on these riders, those Luna Pro riders, just so we can figure out who is in 2nd and who is in 4th. But right now, your leader is Michael Dick. Michael Dick of the Stans No Tubes team is now exiting on that cobbled section out of the Adina Celebration Circle. So we've got Michael Dick in 1st. I believe that's Magali Rochette in 2nd. Now we can see Natasha Elliott exiting that celebration circle. They're going to be making their way shortly to the start finish. So they're just about finished their first lap. It looks like Anna Shapper, a local rider, has some issues. One of the riders having some issues in that celebration circle. So soon we'll be flipping back to our start finish camera. But right now, Michael Dick having a great start to this race. Michael Dick, the 2012 champion, is leading this race, going for a championship here in 2014 at the Forks. So now we've got the riders back on camera, and it looks like Catherine Pendrell has moved into 2nd place. So I believe that is Catherine Pendrell in 2nd spot. We'll see if our spotters just can confirm going through the start finish. That is Sandra Walter in 3rd. And I believe that is Magali Rochette now back in fourth spot. Yes, so I just got confirmation. So it is Catherine Pendrell now in second place. So it's Michael Dick in first, Catherine Pendrell in second, and those two last year in Surrey, BC went head-to-head. Catherine Pendrell only beating Michael Dick by 20 seconds last year in Surrey, BC. So they're going now again head-to-head here. So they're now back in this field area in front of the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. Sandra Walter, desperate moments here. She's trying to stick with those two leaders. The race is starting to pull apart right now. Michael Dick, Catherine Pendrell, and Sandra Walter. So it looks like Sandra Walter has regained that group on this Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. So Michael Dick, I believe she is the BC provincial champion this year. I believe she just beat Sandra Walter by about 13 seconds or so in those BC provincial championships held in Nanaimo, BC just 2 weeks ago. So now we see Anna Schappert on that Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. She is the local Manitoba rider. Anna Schappert sitting in about a top 8 position right now, maybe about 7th or 8th position for Anna Schappert, Manitoba rider.
Nana's really an incredible rider, and it's impressive that she's also a student athlete. I know she was busy writing an engineering midterm just last night, and so to have her here racing at this top-level race in Canada is extremely impressive today.
So it looks like our two leaders have maybe 2 or 3 seconds on Sandra Walter. Our two leaders, they're now heading into those Kick Cancer barriers. Kick Cancer Care Manitoba, a great partner in this event, really trying to promote getting active and how important activity is to reducing your risk to cancer. So now Magali Rochette through that Kick Cancer barrier section. So she is your 4th place rider. It looks like Natasha Elliott now in 5th place. So those 5 riders really starting to separate themselves for the rest of this field. So we're just going to take a very short commercial break, and we will be back with the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. Back here at the we are back at the Canadian Cyclocross Championships here at the Forks. What an incredible venue we have here today for cyclocross racing. And Shimano has been an incredible partner. I can't say how much they have helped us out in putting on this event and how much they've supported it. So we're just seeing the exit of the run-up section. Our riders, we understand, are just heading towards that section. Later on in this program, we're going to show you some features about what that run-up looks like, but it is quite a steep run-up, and it's also a quite steep descent. They are going down on that descent to the river area. They're actually on the river walk that goes right beside the Red River, and then they have this very steep run-up that they're approaching shortly. And last we saw, Michael Dick was your leader, Catherine Pendrell in 2nd, Sandra Walter in 3rd, and Magali Rochette in 4th. You can see the fans getting excited, so our leaders are coming up, and that looks like Catherine Pendrell has moved into the lead. So when they were out of camera, Catherine Pendrell has moved in the lead, but right there with her is Michael Dick. These two, as I was saying, went head-to-head last year in the national championships, and they are going head-to-head again here in Winnipeg. Sandra Walter only about 4 or 5 seconds, and they're now heading into that riverbank section, that harbor section. That is Catherine Pendrell in the blue and Michael Dick in the red. The fans starting to go really wild here in this harbor section. They're now heading back. This is their second time through the Shimano double sandpit. Catherine Pendrell now into the sand. Michael Dick right behind her. We saw last time this was a critical area. The second sand pit, it's a little bit deeper, and that caused some issues for Magali Rochette, and she fell back. So right now, Catherine Pendrell, your leader, going through that 180-degree turn. The fans getting loud. The fans really cheering on these riders. Catherine Pendrell spent 3 months in Swan River, Manitoba, northern Manitoba. The fans cheering her on here. That is Catherine Pendrell. Michael Dick a few seconds behind her. They're now safely through that second sandpit section in the Shimano double sandpit. They're now onto the run-up towards the expo area. Now where is Sandra Walters? So Sandra Walters sitting about 8 seconds back. Magali Rochette starting to claw back into this race. Magali Rochette, nice work now through that sandpit. So our 4 leaders through the double sandpit section. And we saw yesterday a lot of these riders trying to find the right line through the sand. You can see the sand has been chewed up. We've seen so many races already today happen, and that sand has got quite chewed up. So those lines that they may have picked Friday aren't quite the right line this time. So we saw Magali Rochette struggle the first lap, but it looks like she's maybe found the right line through that. And it looks like this is Anna Schappert, the Manitoba rider, pushing hard through the sand. That is Anna Schappert in the black and yellow of the Manitoba provincial team. You can hear the fans going wild for Anna Schappert. So now we're heading back to that Adina celebration circle. That looks like Magali Rochette sitting in 4th spot right now of the Luna Pro team. Sorry, no, that is the leader. That is Catherine Pendrell. Sorry, that is Magali Rochette sitting. That's our 4th place rider, I believe. I'm just trying to get a read on her number. Sorry, that is Catherine Pendrell. That is our leader. And I was surprised she has opened up a significant gap on Michael Dick. So Catherine Pendrell starting to make the race happen right here, right now. She has expanded that lead to about 5 or 6 seconds back to Michael Dick. Sandra Walter here in 3rd, Magali Rochette in 4th. So we have got a battle for 3rd and 4th, and we have got a battle for 1st and 2nd. These riders on their 2nd lap, they'll be coming through shortly for their 3rd lap. They'll be heading now towards the start-finish area. I'm not sure if the officials have confirmed how many laps these riders will be doing. So we'll see if our spotters can confirm how many laps these riders will be doing. We just saw Natasha Elliott go through the screen. So she is sitting in 5th spot. So those 5 riders, your top 5 riders, they are significantly ahead. And it looks like Anna Schappert now is in 6th place. We're just showing a little more of that sandpit area. So now we are back to our leader here, going through the start finish. We'll see if we can get a confirmation of how many laps to go for these riders. 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go for Catherine Pendrell. Michael Dick sitting about 4 seconds behind Catherine Pendrell. So right now, your leader, Catherine Pendrell, a few seconds over Michael Dick. They're now heading into this field section in front of the Canadian Museum of Human Rights. If you're just joining us, this is live coverage of the women's elite race at the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. And Catherine Pendrell is your leader right now. She is starting to put the hammer down.
Yeah, absolutely incredible performance from Catherine right now. You know, she was the Commonwealth Games mountain bike champion this year in Glasgow. Oh, we're just getting a crash here by Michael Dick and over the Knoll of Pain.
Yeah, so we can see off camera, we were able to see that Michael Dick went down in that Tetro Design Knoll of Pain. We have seen a number of crashes there, so that has given an opportunity for those riders in 3rd and 4th to catch back up. So we're just watching that off camera. They just went by our International Broadcast Center. But this is Catherine Pendrell. This is your leader right now. She is trying to defend her championship from last year, and she is doing that quite well. Nice work by Catherine Pendrell. She is wearing number 1 as the defending Canadian champion. And we're just trying to get a read here on what our 2nd and 3rd place riders. It looks like Michael Dick may be out of this. She is running her bike right now. So now in 2nd place, it is Magali Rochette from the Luna Pro team and Sandra Walter. Those two are going head to head for that 2nd spot on the podium. It looks like Michael Dick had some significant problems. It was just off camera. She had a crash in the Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. We've seen a number of wipeouts, and now Natasha Elliott is in 4th place. So Michael Dick, she's still running her bike, so she's going to try and get to the pit area. It's a little ways to get to the pit area, but you can just see her on camera right now. Very unfortunate turn of events, but she is not giving up.
Yeah, it's very tough luck for Michael. She had a fantastic start to this season. 2014 BC champion. We'll see if she can get to the pit fast and get a bike change.
Yeah, very unfortunate turn of events, but she's pushing on here. And this is cyclocross. So many things can happen. These riders push their bikes to the absolute limit. And you can see she was really pushing hard through that corner. And we've seen a number of wipeouts, a number of crashes on that corner. It is a very tricky corner and rightfully called the Tetra Design Knoll of Pain.
And I'm just getting in an updated lap time information, and that lap was just over 8 minutes, 8 minutes and 3 seconds. We're looking at 3 laps to go.
So 8 minutes a lap, that's a pretty good speed. This is a 3.3 kilometer race, so those riders probably doing right around 20 kilometers per hour, just over 20, maybe 21 kilometers. So you can tell that's a fast lap. So just a few more riders going through those kick cancer cyclocross barriers. That's Anna Schappert now through those barriers. So just to recap, a major change of events as they went through that Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. Catherine Pendrell, your leader, but Michael Dick having a crash, and that has allowed Magali Rochette and Sandra Walter to move into 2nd and 3rd place. So we're just going to go to a short commercial break. We're going to listen to Shimano talk. We're going to listen to Shimano talk a little bit about the brakes that these riders use here.
Okay, he heard you.
So welcome back to the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championship. So if you're just joining us, we had a bit of an event here. Michael Dick, who was sitting in 2nd place, had a crash on that Tetra Design Knoll of Pain, and that has allowed Magali Rochette and Sandra Walter to move into those 2nd and 3rd place positions. This is Catherine Pendrell. This is your leader. This is your defending champion. She is now 3rd time into the Shimano double sandpit. So she's now through that 180-degree turn. She's heading towards the 2nd part of that Shimano double sandpit. So it sounds like she has about 25 seconds or so on the next 2 riders. Catherine Pendrell, your defending champion, leading this race right now here in Winnipeg, Manitoba at the Forks, the junction of the Red and Assiniboine Rivers. So we'll get a time gap here. So that is sitting right around 20 seconds. And it looks like Magali Rochette now is solely in 2nd place. Desperate moments here for Sandra Walter. She is desperately trying to hang with Magali Rochette through this double sandpit area. So right now, Catherine Pendrell 1st, Magali Rochette in 2nd, Sandra Walter desperately trying to get back to Magali Rochette. She is sitting in 3rd spot. And it looks like we're now showing in the distance there, that is Natasha Elliott riding for the CycleSmart team. You can see the fans have gathered here, the fans going wild. We've had a great turnout of spectators. This is a spectacular day to watch a cyclocross race. And now we're picking up our 5th and 6th place riders.
And Natasha has to be quite motivated to close that gap, as she finished 4th at last year's Nationals. And 4th can sometimes be the hardest place to finish, so I'm sure she's working really, really hard to get back up there in contention.
So it looked like we had a leader, our crash there. We're just back here with our leader, Catherine Pendrell. So she had a little bit of a crash there heading into this Adina celebration circle. So that is going to give an opportunity for Magali Rochette to close that gap. It was sitting approximately 20 seconds the last time we checked. So they're now into that Adina celebration circle. She's heading towards this cobbled path that exits this section. So Luna Pro Teams, Catherine Pendrell, your leader here right now. And Magali Rochette, your second place rider. So Magali Rochette now is sitting about 15 seconds behind Catherine Pendrell, and then about another 10 seconds back to Sandra Walter in third. Not sure if we can get an update on Michael Dick. We're not sure if she's back in this race, but a very unfortunate turn of events for Michael Dick, the 2012 Canadian Cyclocross champion. It happened off camera, but we saw it here in the International Broadcast Center. We saw Michael Dick crash on that 180-degree off-camera turn in the Tetro Design Nola Payne. So this now on your screen, that is Natasha Elliott, who is sitting in fourth spot. Again, we can't say enough. This is cyclocross. Anything can happen. We saw that happen. Michael Dick was looking so strong. We are now back to our leader, Catherine Pendrell, coming through the start-finish. So she has been given the sign, 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go for Catherine Pendrell here. And that is Magali Rochette. She is coming through the start-finish. She is getting that 2 laps to go sign. Sandra Walter sitting about 9 seconds back of Magali Rochette. Can she do it? Can she claw back to Magali Rochette? So those are your top 3 riders. 2 laps to go for these women. 2 laps to go. So Sandra Walter, just a little bit about her. She was second place in the BC Provincial Championships held at Nanaimo, BC 2 weeks ago. She is sitting right now third place in this race. So we are back now to our leader, Catherine Pendrell. Catherine Pendrell, born on the East Coast, now lives in Kamloops, BC, but lived for a short while in Swan River, Manitoba. She is your leader right now. She has got safely through that off-camber turn in the Tetro Design Knoll of Pain. So we did see a little bit of a crash there in the Adina celebration circle, so that has allowed Magali Rochette to close the gap a little bit. We'll see if we can get some time gaps on those 2 riders, first and second, and back to third. So we're just showing our leader here. This is Catherine Pendrell still.
I'm just getting an updated time gap, or not a time gap, the lap time for the second lap was 8 minutes and 20 seconds, so a little bit slower than the first lap, but not by much. They're still flying on this course.
So what was that time gap? Approximately 8 minutes?
8:20.
8:20. So they're slowing down a tiny bit here on this course. They're now on their second last lap here. So Catherine Pendrell, your leader, through those kick cancer barriers. So we'll see if we can get a time gap here. So that time gap is sitting approximately 15, 16 seconds between Catherine Pendrell and Magali Rochette here at the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. We are live here at the Forks in Winnipeg, and is sitting about 8, 9 seconds back to Sandra Walter in third place.
And this is a very impressive ride by Magali Rochette, teammates with the current leader, Catherine Pendrell on the Luna Pro team. She just started racing with Luna this year. She was a triathlete until the age of 18, and really for her first season as a pro, she's just had some fantastic results on the cross scene.
And we're just showing on camera, this is 5th through 7th place. Anna Schappert is in that group battling for 5th place. So we want to keep an eye on that battle as well. We're just going to take a short break here. We're going to show you a couple highlights of this course that you haven't seen on camera. And then we've also got a short commercial break. So we'll be right back with the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. So one of the course features we have here, we have this tricky descent down to the river. Here's Michael Dick taking his descent right now. Beautiful riding by Michael. This section will get really chewed up. as the race proceeds. Course is the Prairie Mobile run-up. We've got Natasha Elliott and Derek St. John here taking this run-up. Really steep. It's a long run-up, probably a good 25 seconds from the bottom to the top. Definitely an important feature of this course. And we are live back here at the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. Catherine Pendrell just heading towards that harbor area. It looks like Magali Rochette only sitting maybe 13, 14 seconds back. We now see Catherine Pendrell descending into this harbor area. This is her second last time through this area. She is trying to hold on for victory here in Winnipeg, trying to defend her Canadian Cyclocross Championship that she took last year. This is a world champion you are watching right now, a world champion only about 7 weeks ago, and she lived in Manitoba for a short while. We might start calling her Manitoba Zone. The crowd starting to cheer on Catherine Pendrell here, Luna Pro Team. She is your leader. This is the second last time through the Shimano double sandpit. She's going through that second area right now. That is Catherine Pendrell. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, here in the harbor area. That is Catherine Pendrell, your leader, trying to defend her championship. Catherine Pendrell safely through the Shimano double sandpit. She'll have one more time through that sandpit. She'll be heading towards that Adina Celebration Circle area. So just getting a time gap here back to Magali Rochette, her Luna Pro teammate. It looks like it may only be about 11 seconds. So Magali Rochette it looks like she's closing that gap to Catherine Pendrell. She just has a little over a lap to go. Could she do it? I read an interview in Canadian Cycling Magazine with Magali Rochette saying that she was willing to battle against Catherine Pendrell. Even though they're teammates, they were going to be battling for the win. If they were neck and neck at the finish, they were going to be battling for the win. No gifts between the two of them. Those two riders are now battling for victory. Sandra Walter is in third, Natasha Elliott in fourth right now.
And it's interesting to note that having a little bit of trouble in the sandpit for Natasha Elliott.
So these riders really starting to tire now. They need to hold that speed going into that second sandpit. That is where it gets deeper. And we can see riders, they're starting to get tired. They're starting to struggle in that Shimano double sandpit area.
And it's interesting to note that the top three riders we have here right now are all notable mountain bikers as well. So Sandra Walter in third was actually a bronze medal at this year's Mountain Bike Nationals. Catherine won, and Magali, I believe, won the U23.
I think she was about fifth in the U23. She had a bit she struggled a little bit in that race. So this is a great opportunity for her to finish on the podium in a national championship race. And she, I believe, is only 21 years of age. And I know Richard Fries talked about it on the coverage of the Providence Cyclocross race. Wouldn't it be something if Magali Rochette, an under 23 rider, only 21 years of age, can finish on the podium here at the national championships? So she is closing that gap to Catherine Pendrell. We're going to see if we can get another time gap between those two riders. Sandra Walter is your third place rider. She is trying to hang on to that podium position. She was on the podium, as Leah mentioned, in those mountain bike nationals held at Hardwood Hills in Ontario back in July, and now she is trying to get that bronze medal here in Winnipeg in the National Cyclocross Championships. She has had an outstanding season. She also won a Canada Cup, I believe, in Sudbury, Ontario, and I'm pretty sure she was a top 20, top 25 at those World Mountain Bike Championships.
Yeah, and she was actually the Canada Cup Series champion this year.
Yeah, so great season by Sandra Walter, and it would be a great way to cap it off with a podium finish here at the National Cyclocross Championships. So we're going to see if we can get a time gap here back to Magali Rochette. So Catherine Pendrell is your leader Looks like that time gap may have lengthened a little bit. So Magali Rochette may have had some struggles there just off camera.
I think what we can see is that Catherine has a lot more experience with pacing, just having raced a few years longer than Magali. But they're both having an amazing performance here today.
So we just got an official time gap at that start finish. It is now 24 seconds, so that time gap is widened. So Magali Rochette may have had a few issues early on. So it's 24 seconds to Catherine Pendrell. She is now on her last lap. Catherine Pendrell, the last time through this Tetra Design Nola Pane, she takes it a little more carefully. She knows she's got to stay upright on her bike, and she can win another Canadian Cyclocross Championship. She wanted to be here. When I talked to her last year at the National Championships, she wanted to be back here. She wanted to be back in Manitoba to defend her championship, and that is what she's doing right now. She is on her last lap. Catherine Pendrell, Luna Pro Team. She's now heading back to that Tetra Design knoll of pain, the second time up that knoll, and she is sitting right now with a 24-second lead over her Luna Pro teammate. She got a little bit of a visual there to see how far she was ahead of Magali Rochette. She's just gone in front of our International Broadcast Center here at the Forks. She is on her last lap here. This is the last lap of the women's elite race.
And these women are not only competing for the honor of wearing the Maple Leaf jersey for an entire season, they're also competing for a spot at this year's World Championships.
That's right. Coming up in January is the World Championships in Tabor, Czech Republic. And so they are competing for a spot on that team. And I believe the winner of this race is an automatic qualification, I believe, Leah.
Yeah, that's right.
So the winner of this will be automatically qualified for those World Championships in Czech Republic. As well, I believe the top UCI ranked rider, which I believe could be Magali Rochette. I'm not sure, but I think she may be currently the top Canadian UCI ranked rider. So she may also get a qualification for that World's team.
And those riders that may have experienced some tough luck today also have another chance tomorrow. There's another UCI race, the Manitoba Grand Prix, where they'll have their last chance to gain that World's qualification. And I'm just getting an updated lap time for our third lap. It was 8:16, so we're actually speeding up as the race goes on.
So we're just going to take a very short break just to show you a couple features of this course.
One of the course features we have here, we have this tricky descent down to the river. Here's Michael Dick taking this descent right now. Beautiful riding by Michael. This section will get really chewed up as the race proceeds. Course is the Prairie Mobile Run-Up. We've got Natasha Elliott and Derek St. John here taking this run-up. Really steep. It's a long run-up, probably a good 25 seconds from the bottom to the top. Definitely an important feature of this course. So one tricky section just before the start finish is this double dip section. So we got a couple riders going through. That's Aaron Schooler just coming through now. So they've got this double dip section just before the start finish. They also have this little chicane that they have to get through. So that's right before the finishing straight.
So we're now back live again with the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. If you're just joining us, this is our last lap of the women's elite race. We've had a few little mishaps already today. We saw Michael Dick crash out earlier on that Tetra Design Nola Pane. So right now, Catherine Pendrell is your leader, Magali Rochette in second, and Sandra Walter, and they are on their last lap. They are right now in that riverbank section. They would have made the descent, and they're now going to be heading towards this Prairie Mobile Run-Up. You can see the fans starting to go wild. They're about to get back on camera. This is the last time for these riders on their run-up. And that is Catherine Pendrell. She is still your leader here. She is on the last part of this race. We are now into the last 5 minutes of this race, the commercial-free last 5 minutes. And that is Catherine Pendrell, your leader. She is defending her national championship from last year, and she's doing it quite well. And last time we checked, there was a 24-second gap back to Magali Rochette. So now Magali Rochette out of the run-up. Her last time on the run-up. They are now going to be heading towards the harbor area and that Shimano double sand pit. And here we now. We're descending in to the harbor area. You can hear the fans. They are going wild. They are cheering on Catherine Pendrell. Catherine Pendrell lived for a short while in Swan River, Manitoba, and those fans love a Manitoban. She is now entering the Shimano double sand pit. The fans going wild. That is your leader. She is on her last lap here, the last lap of this incredible course we have at the Forks. We've got the men's elite race coming up shortly, but right now it is the women's elite race, and Catherine Pendrell is your leader. The fans starting to go wild here. They are cheering her on here in the second part of the sand pit. That is Catherine Pendrell, your leader, safely through the sand pit.
Catherine is just really an incredible athlete, two-time Olympian, two-time world mountain bike champion. She's also a great person. Last night she came and joined us for the Fast and Female event right here at the Forks. We had almost 50 young girls out and for an inspiring evening with elite athletes, just sharing our love of sport with them. And the fact that Catherine and Megalee, Michael Dick all came out, you know, the night before this huge race says a lot about their character, that they're willing to give back to the community.
Yeah, that is such a great event, the Fast and Female event, and to have, just like you said, to have them support that event right before this national championship. So we're going to cut shortly back to that Adina celebration circle to check in our leaders. We are just minutes away from the conclusion of the women's elite race here at the Forks in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Quite the venue for a cyclocross race. We're just seeing Natasha Elliott through the second part of that sand pit. And we're now back to our leader. That is Catherine Pendrell. And she is probably about less than 2 minutes from the finish of this race. She's just got to stay upright on her bike. It sounds like a little bit of a cliche, but we saw Michael Dick go down in that Tetra Design Knoll of Pain. We saw it crash earlier by Catherine Pendrell in this area. So far, she's navigating it quite well. This is your leader, Catherine Pendrell, sitting with about 25 seconds over second place, Magali Rochette. So she's now exiting that Odina celebration circle. We'll see if we can get a view here. That rider now on your screen, that is Magali Rochette. Could an under 23 rider finish on the podium here? She's only 21 years of age. She has had an outstanding season, and she's on her way to a silver medal here at the Canadian Cyclocross Championships here at the Forks. She struggled a little bit at Mountain Bike Nationals at Hardwood Hills. She struggled a little bit. I think she finished 5th or 6th place. So this is a great way for Magali Rochette to finish off, not finish off her season, just as a part of her season here. So we're just moments away from the finish. You saw in that course preview, there's that double dip section, a little bit of a tricky section. We have seen some crashes earlier there today in the earlier races. And now inside, ladies and gentlemen, the fans cheering her on. That is Catherine Pendrell. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2014 Canadian Cyclocross champion. She defending her championship quite well today.
What an incredible performance from Catherine. And we're seeing just dominance from the Luna professional team today, with Magali Rochette should be coming in soon.
And ladies and gentlemen, there is your silver medalist today. That is Magali Rochette. A great ride by Magali to finish on the podium with her teammate Catherine Pendrell. Great sportsmanship between these two riders. Luna Pro Team 1-2 at the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships. Great ride by those riders. So we should see our third place rider coming in shortly. That is Sandra Walter. Sandra Walter taking a bronze medal here. Sandra Walter, a bronze medal at the Cyclocross Championships to go with her bronze medal at the Canadian Mountain Bike Championships. A great season by Sandra Walter. Every year she's been improving, and I got to think this is her best season to date. Sandra Walter in third. What a ride. Natasha Elliott in fourth spot. Natasha Elliott of the CycleSmart team finishes in fourth place. Wow, so your top four here at the Forks for the Canadian Cyclocross Championships: Catherine Pendrell, Magali Rochette, Sandra Walter, and Natasha Elliott. Our stats man has just provided us some information. So winning the cyclocross fantasy pool is Leah Kirchman. She picked first.
Catherine.
Catherine Pendrell, and yes, I believe that's actually. I'm gonna talk to our stats guy. Leah Kirchman got first place right. I got second and fourth place right. So we'll have to see how that scored.
We'll have to double check the scoring system.
But right now we got a few more riders finishing up, and I think we have a Manitoba rider finishing up. So more riders coming across the line. I'm not sure. That may have been Anna Shappert in fifth. We'll see if our spotters. Yes, fifth place. Fifth place for Anna Shappert. A great ride by the local rider, Anna Shappert, in fifth place. What a ride. She's been having a strong season, and to finish fifth here in front of her hometown crowd is an exceptional ride by Anna Shappert.
That's really an incredible performance. I spent years traveling and racing with Anna. We had lots of good times together, and really happy to see her have a great race here in Winnipeg. And we hear that was a sprint to the line, so Anna had to really work for that fifth place.
So Anna Shappert taking fifth place. We're just showing a little view here of Chris Hubner, our chair of the organizing committee. We've got Chris Hubner on camera here. What a great job. I can't believe we've got such a great event happening here, and that man, Chris Hubner, deserves a lot of credit in conjunction with all the volunteers and organizing committee. So another rider coming across the line. That looks like Michael Dick. So Michael Dick persevered. She lost so much time with that mechanical problem, but she persevered and she finished here. Great effort by Michael Dick. It's cyclocross. So many things can happen, and that's what happened to Michael Dick. A crash and a mechanical problem on that Tetro design Knoll of Pain.
And that can be one of the toughest things about bike racing, is just you can be having a great ride. You know, she was up there in the lead, and then just a mechanical can happen out of nowhere, or a big crash, and that's just the end of your race. And you just need to refocus and look to the next race and hope for another great performance.
So we're about 14 or 15 minutes now from our men's elite race, the second part of our coverage today. Also a reminder, we're going to be live tomorrow on Sunday for the Manitoba International Grand Prix. That is starting at 2:45 Central Time, 9:45 p.m. in Belgium. So that will be our coverage tomorrow. But we have the men's elite race coming up in about 14 minutes or so. You can see actually some of our men's riders warming up. That is Mike Garrigan now on the course warming up, trying to get a little bit of a lap in here. He's going to be in that men's race. He is going to be, I think, a top 5 favorite for that men's race. Michael Garrigan just warming up in the sand pits. So we got a few riders warming up here on the course. We're now about 13, 14 minutes. This is the start of our men's race. But what a women's race we had there. Catherine Pendrell taking the victory. Magali Rochette, silver medal. And the bronze medal to Sandra Walter. So we're just going to go to our intro. We got a few commercials and an intro to our men's race. We've got an interview with one of the local favorites, Brandon Bourne, Michael Vandenham. So we're just going to go to our men's intro. We're going to have a 5 or 6 minute break here, showing some interviews and some commercials. We'll be right back shortly with the Shimano Canadian Cyclocross Championships.